Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, economy, and development in Nigeria and around the world. In this video, which I'm dropping on the 64th independent anniversary of Nigeria, which is a special report, I want to show how Nigerian governors are the most powerful and perhaps most dangerous political bloc in Nigeria's democracy and development since our return to democracy, so that we can be able to know what to do to curtail the excesses of the governors. And I will provide one of the solutions to the excesses of the governors. Because right now, rightly so, most Nigerians blame the president of the country for the woes of the country. But at the center of this woe are the governors and the former governors. And these former governors became powerful because of the powers that they had when they were governors. So the governors presently and those who are former governors, they constitute this most powerful bloc that are a threat to our democracy, to our development. You and I know that if our states are working, Nigeria will be working. So let us go through this special report on why the governors are the most powerful political bloc in Nigeria and the most dangerous. Before I go ahead on this very important issue, if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. Now, the first person to understand the power or powers of the governors in determining the shape and direction of our Nigerian democracy and their powers in determining the president of Nigeria was or is Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria between 1999 and 2003 and 2007. Atiku Abubakar understood the powers of the governors, and he courted it and became very friendly with them and was very powerful. When you hear that Atiku Abubakar was a very powerful vice president, it was because of his closeness to the power center, the governors. So these governors at the time, who are mostly members of the People's Democratic Party, were aligned with Atiku Abubakar. And then the Atiku Abubakar agenda was to ensure that President Olusegun Obasanjo does the Mandela, what they call the Mandela, that's doing one time and leaving the scene. Atiku wanted to be president by 2023, and there was the move to ensure that Obasanjo was a first-term president. And there was this campaign that Obasanjo should do the Mandela, do one time and leave the scene. That was when Obasanjo realized the powers of the governors to Obasanjo has to find a way to break the rank between the governors and Atiku Abubakar so that he could be able to have his second term. That was the beginning of the powers of governors to shape Nigeria's politics for good or for ill. After that, after Obasanjo did this, was able to survive that conspiracy between Atiku and the governors at that time to make him a one-term president, Obasanjo also got the message that the governors are the main center of power in Nigeria. The governors control enormous resources because of the kind of federation we run, where every state come to Abuja and collect their share, and governors collect humongous amount. Whether they utilize it for their people or not is a story for another day. That enormous resources they were and they spend at the expense of their people is what makes them the most powerful bloc in Nigerian politics in determining even the president of Nigeria. Now, it was that message that Obasanjo got that also made him, when he was leaving after his second term, he made sure that his successor was chosen from among the rank and file of the governors. And that was how, and the governors got the message. People like Peter Odele, they were all struggling to get the PDP ticket, because getting the PDP ticket means you are already the president. PDP was the most powerful political force in Nigeria at the time. Obasanjo, for whatever reason, which is a story for another day, Odele was overlooked, but he was the most forceful in seeking the presidency, as Obasanjo was planning to leave the scene after second term. And Obasanjo was not ready to allow Atiku Abubakar to succeed him, having seen what Atiku allegedly did with the governors to try to upstage him in 2023, in 2003. Obasanjo chose Yaradua to become his successor. Yaradua was picked from among the governors, the most powerful bloc in Nigeria. Now, you see what was playing out. Who became the vice president or vice presidential candidate of Yaradua after he was handpicked? Obasanjo also picked another governor from Bayelsa State, the little known then Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Both of them, both Yaradua and Jonathan, they were not among the top people that you will consider for such position, but it was an indication of playing to the politics of the governors because of the powers they control. And Obasanjo need the governors to support whoever he is putting as his successor. And people like Ibori, who came from very rich states like Delta and others, they rally around and they show that there was enough fund to finance Yaradua to emerge the president. Yaradua died, Jonathan took over. There was the desire by the North to counter that's Jonathan's emergence, because they felt that after Yaradua died, that the power ought to remain in the north. There was a revolt in the People's Democratic Party. In the process of that revolt, some PDP governors, note it, PDP governors revolted, and they were at the PDP governors and the other governors were at the center of the funding to ensure that Jonathan was defeated in 2015. It was PDP governors and other governors that helped to bring down Jonathan and helped to fund the campaign of Muhammad Buhari, who became the president of Nigeria in 2015, and he's ranked among the worst presidents in Nigeria's history. Now, he brought unprecedented economic mismanagement to our country and started the slide to economic abyss of Nigeria that we are witnessing today. So you can see that the governors are at the center of the crisis we are facing in Nigeria today. They are the ones that brought the incompetent Buhari to be president in 2015. They were the ones that funded it. They funded it. Buhari didn't campaign with his own money. He didn't use his own money to become president. Governors use resources of their state. Today, many states cannot pay salary. They can't even pay the 70,000 minimum wage. They can't bring any development. They are still doing the same thing that was done before, just sharing the money. They are the ones that brought Buhari, who became a disastrous economic manager and put the country in the direction that yet again another incompetent leader in management of the economy was also put as his replacement when he served for 8 years. I'm talking about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It is good. The other day there was a report that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said that there was no cabal in his government because he funded his government by himself. That could be partially true, but that is not the whole truth. The whole truth was that the governors also propped up Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because if the governors had not supported him, if people like Malam Nasir El-Rufai, the then governor of Kaduna State, and several others had not rallied round and said that Bola Ahmed Tinubu should be the successor to Buhari, Tinubu couldn't have done it. Remember that Abdullahi Adamu, the then national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, wanted Ahmad Lawan, the then Senate president, to be the successor to Buhari. Now, many people will consider it very insensitive, in the sense that after 8 years of President Muhammad Buhari, common sense, federal character, unity of Nigeria and all ought to have made people like Abdullahi Adamu and Muhammad Buhari to know that power ought to go to southern Nigeria. But they wanted Ahmad Lawal from Yobe State to be successor to Buhari. It was the governors' revolt, particularly in the All Progressive Congress, the ruling party, led by people like Governor Nasir El-Rufai and others, who knew the consequences of not allowing power to go to the south after 8 years of Muhammad Buhari, who pushed and pushed using resources and all kinds of propaganda they can use among their people and all that to ensure that the presidency goes south. So you can see the powers that are being wielded by these governors. You can therefore see that if Nigeria has not been doing well since 1999, when we returned back to democracy after decades of military dictatorship, the problem lies squarely on the governors. Their hands are everywhere that eventually lead to where we are today. Their hands are everywhere. Right now, you can see when Atiku Abubakar, don't forget that Atiku Abubakar was first elected as governor of Adamawa State before Obasanjo nominated him as his running mate. Himself has also been a victim of the powers of the governors. He has also been a victim of the powers of the governors. And these governors are the people that are going to also undermine him in the PDP in the coming days. When Atiku Abubakar ran for president in 2023, which I have said it in this channel, he ought not to have been in the race, knowing that it was the turn of the South to produce a president. But he did. He was not given the freedom to pick his running mate. The PDP governors insisted that one of their own must be his vice president. That was how Ifeanyi Okowa of Delta State. Imagine the scene. That was why former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, is a daggers drawn with him today, because Nyesom Wike also, as a governor at the time, presented himself to be the running mate to Atiku Abubakar. Because the governors said, if we are going to support Atiku Abubakar, he has to pick one of us. Unfortunately for Nyesom Wike, Atiku Abubakar picked Ifeanyi Okowa. And then suddenly, Nyesom Wike became a fighter for justice and fairness and equity. Because Dele Momodu, who was an insider in the campaign of Atiku Abubakar, told us this, that all these noises about Nyesom Wike fight, that the reason he supported Tinubu from the APC for justice and fairness and equity was badadash. That the core thing was that his rejection by Atiku Abubakar as his running mate. Then, in a typical, if I can't have it, let me scatter it, he joined forces with the APC to ensure that Atiku and the PDP doesn't get it. But that's to show the powers that these governors has been wielding. And unfortunately, what could have helped in curtailing their excesses, like the EFCC, is no longer possible to do that. If you want to know about how EFCC began to put itself in a position where it cannot be able to do this, go and read Obasanjo's My Watch. That book contained important information about some relationship between some officials of the EFCC and some governors. That was at the beginning of the kind of check that would have helped us to put the governors in check. Now the governors, they have immunity. Nothing could be done to them while they are still in power. But before they leave power, they will put their surrogates who will cover their track. And that surrogate will ensure that their track are covered. Therefore, whatever they looted, they go with it without any consequences. And that makes them also powerful and dangerous even outside office. They continue to be determinants of what goes on in our politics. That is the sad reality. Now, if you look at what I have told you now, you can see that the governors are responsible for our political and democratic decline since 1999. I agreed the president of the country wields enormous power. I agreed the constitution gave it to him. But the governors are also very influential and powerful. If the governors had managed their states well, federal government will have less work to do for the development of the country. But they have not managed the resources of their states well. And you can see their emperor status, or the way they operate like emperors in the elections that they conduct at the local government level. In most of the elections across the country, local government elections, you see that the governors operate like emperors. Even Pharaoh was more democratic than them. Because they will do local government election, the party of the governor will sweep all the votes at the councillorship position and at the chairmanship position. They are the problem of our democracy. They can also be the solution to our democracy by ensuring that the right things are done. But because many of them operate politics from the perspective of self-gain, most of the time, our democracy is endangered by their actions and by their inactions. What is the solution to the danger that the governors pose to our democracy? Every year, we allocate billions of naira for constitutional review. Since 1999, it has become part of every legislative year. Constitution will be reviewed. They will do some cosmetic changes in the constitution. Now, some of the constitutional requirements that need to be done is to ensure that the immunity that is being enjoyed by the governors, including the president and the vice president, these immunities are extricated from our constitution so that governors will be able to be prosecuted, to be tried in office. Because this idea that until they leave office, nobody can touch them is part of the dangers they pose to our democracy. I agree, the founding fathers or those who wrote the Constitution put immunity for governors and presidents because of They don't want these leaders to be distracted from their responsibility. But these leaders, these governors are already distracted. Even when nobody is distracting them, they are distracting themselves. They are junketing from country to country under the guise of looking for foreign investors. Most of them are here in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, than in their states. Therefore, there is no basis to say that they will be distracted if they go to court. In any case, many of these governors, they used to go to court to defend their mandate. Remember that because of the corruption in our electoral system, most of these governors, their so-called election was challenged in the court. Were they not going to the court? Were they not sending their lawyers to the court to defend their riggings? So if they can go to court as sitting governors to defend their alleged stolen mandates, they can as well also not have immunity and defend whatever allegation that are leveled against them, so that EFCC and other anti-corruption agencies and institutions could be able to prosecute these governors while they were on seat and even after they leave their seat. Because if the EFCC, ICPC, and others do their work well, there will be enough ground to impeach some of these governors even before they finish their 4 years or 8 years in office, and help to bring sanity in our system. So I don't know what you think of what I have said, but I can tell you for free that the dangers we face in this country can be traced to the governors of Nigeria far more than the president. And they also have to be held responsible for the kind of presidents they help to bring up in the system. If you look at all the insecurity we are having across the country, there are allegations that governors are linked to all these insecurities across several states in Nigeria. Whether it is whatever you like call it, there are allegations that governors are implicated in insecurity we are facing in Nigeria. So that shows you that the governors are at the center of our underdevelopment. And it is important that I drop this information so that people think about it on the 64th independence anniversary of Nigeria. And at a time, Nigerians are passing through hell to be able to survive due to the incompetency of the presidency and the governors at the various government houses across the country. I don't know what you think about this. Whatever is your position, let us hear from you at the comment section. Thank you for watching this video, and if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.